I'm going to share a little PowerPoint, and I'm also just going to stop my video real quick so that I don't get distracted while I'm trying to share these. All right, can you see this? Everybody good? Okay. Yeah, well, so as Sarah said, my name is Beatrice. I am the manager of donor programs at Gordon-Conwell, which is kind of a confusing title, but just means basically, like she said, I'm your point person for the partnership program. And we're going to be talking all things partnership today. To give you an overview of what we're going to be getting into, I would like to talk about what is the partnership program, how does it work, what are the benefits of the program, and then at the end, I'll open up for a little question and answer time. So if you have anything pop up in your mind, maybe write it down while I'm talking, and then at the end, you can be sure to go ahead and ask me that question. So let's get started. What is the partnership program? So the partnership program is a totally unique scholarship to Gordon-Conwell. You will not find another scholarship like this at any other seminary. The program is a full tuition renewable scholarship where recipients get the chance to learn the skill set of biblical stewardship that will last them a lifetime in ministry. It's open to all of our degree programs except for the THM. We probably don't have any THM students here, but just in case you're wondering, unfortunately, that one's not for you. But for all other degree programs and to all U.S. citizens and green card holders. So how does it work exactly? So students who are a part of the program will fundraise through partners who give tax-deductible donations straight to Gordon-Conwell. And in return, Gordon-Conwell awards those students a full tuition scholarship. This enables students to graduate unencumbered by school debt so that they can head straight into ministry that God's calling them to. And it also helps students who would like to come to seminary, but who might not have the financial ability to do so. So if you're in one of those camps, good news, the scholarship is for you. Here are the 3 requirements that we have in the program. So if you're accepted, these will be what you're expected to keep up with each year. So the first is fundraising. So actually right now at Boston, Charlotte, and Jacksonville, if you're at one of those campuses, our partnership program students are raising $11,900 per year. The Hamilton partnership students have just a slightly higher goal of $13,700 per year. We're working on having those standardized across all campuses, but that's what we're at right now. And Demon students are raising $5,500 per year. So those are the full-time goals, but maybe you're interested in part-time, which is currently $5,500 a year. For partnership, we consider part-time to be 12 credits or less per fiscal year, which is about 4 classes. So if you want to take any more than 4 classes per fiscal year, you would be in the full-time, which allows you to take as many classes as you would like. There is no cap, or you could take fewer. It's totally up to you. So if you're wondering how much each of your individual partners should give towards your fundraising goal, this is kind of what we suggest. So if you're full-time Hamilton, you could have 13 donors giving $75 a month, plus 1 sending church giving $2,000 a year. So that would equal your $13,700 goal. If you're full-time in Boston, Charlotte, or Jacksonville, you could have 11 donors giving $75 a month, plus 1 sending church at $2,000 a year. And if you're Demon or you're part-time, you could have 5 donors giving $75 a month, plus 1 church giving $1,000 a year. But please do hear me out. We do not have one student in the partnership program who has donors giving in exactly this way. Raising support is unique to each student. So this is simply a suggestion. Your partners can give in whatever way helps you to reach your fundraising goal. We do suggest partnering with your church. But we also understand that smaller churches or church plants probably don't have a budget for your partnership fundraising, so that's okay. Additionally, we suggest that your partners give monthly, but some may have or would rather prefer to give one-time gifts. And again, that's okay as long as you're reaching that financial goal. I would also like to point out that we do give you fundraising training if you're accepted into the partnership program. We don't just throw you to the wolves and expect you to get it done. So some of you have fundraised before, some of you have never even thought about fundraising before, and we're here to help you in either case. As our previous director used to like to say, it really is God who builds your team. So don't let these big numbers or the fear of not being able to reach those goals keep you from applying. Okay, so that was the first goal, fundraising, kind of a long one. The second goal rather, is to be in the partnership program, you have to update your partners each month. So this builds a support system that will be carrying you through your seminary, not only financially, but prayerfully. It's these updates that often help lay the foundation for continued support after seminary once you're in ministry. So you don't have to do seminary alone. You can bring a team of prayer warriors, and that team can walk with you into whatever God is calling you to after seminary. Very important. The third and final requirement of the partnership program is to complete educational components pertaining to the program. So each semester that you're in the program, you'll take a self-paced online course on the topics of biblical stewardship, personal finance, and church budgeting. And these classes are unique to the partnership program. You cannot take them as a regular student. So this really is a huge benefit of the program. They're also transcriptable, so they would show up on your transcripts as pass-fail, but they won't affect your GPA. So those were the requirements, but what now are the benefits of the program? You might have kind of picked up on these, but just to reiterate, these are really the main benefits. In the New Testament, Jesus talked about money more than heaven, hell, and marriage combined. So as a Christian, it really is important to have a good theology of money. And so in the partnership program, you gain an emphasis on learning the biblical principles of stewardship that continue to bear fruit long after your graduation. You also learn to build a team. So you have continuing opportunities to strengthen ties with your sending church, family, and friends. And this is really important if you're going into mission work after you graduate seminary. Maybe you're going into church planting. But even if you're going into a marketplace ministry or just regular pastoral ministry, it's hugely important to be able to have those people who are still praying for you continually. So the partnership program helps you with building a team. And also, finally, we help you say no to more debt. As a full tuition renewable scholarship, the partnership program can help you from going into debt if you currently do not have any, but it also can help you from going even further into debt as you go into seminary. And so, okay, you're totally on board with this partnership thing by now. What do you need to know about applying? I'm so glad that you asked. The fall 2021 application due date is fast approaching. So we've got April 15th as our due date. You can find the partnership program application at this link here. It's a little small and hard to read. So you can write that down, or you could just go to Gordon-Conwell's website. If you type partnership program in the search box, it should be the first link that pops up. And you can find all of our information that I'm sharing here, but you could also apply online there if you're ready. Now, April 15th may seem a little bit early to be applying for the fall, but the reason is it really does take about 3 months to successfully fundraise for your first year of seminary. So if you're accepted into the program, you would have your fundraising training beginning early May. And then, of course, your pledges by your partners would be due by June 30th. And finally, when we open up your first partnership program class, we give it to you a little bit early so that before the fall semester begins, you can go ahead and have it out of the way if you're feeling like you want to be on top of things. If you want to save it for later in the semester, you could do that as well. One commonly asked question at this point usually is, do I have to finish my Gordon-Conwell application before I start my partnership application? And the answer to that is no, you don't have to do that. You could begin your partnership program application right now. We just won't fully accept you into the program before you're an accepted Gordon-Conwell student. So you could work on those applications simultaneously if you would like. In the case that you like to know what you're getting into, maybe you're like me, you want to say, okay, I'd like to start that application, but what am I getting into? The application really shouldn't take you too long. We ask you a few general questions and then 3 short essay questions. And then we also ask you to fill out a list of potential sponsors. So you don't have to have asked these people if they will partner with you yet. It's really just to get you brainstorming about who you might ask. And it also gives us an idea of what your support base might look like. And then finally, we ask for 3 references to complete your application. But if you're currently applying to Gordon-Conwell, we can obtain those references from the admissions department to make things a little easier for you. Okay, so I've said a lot of things, and now I'd like to open it up for a time of question and answer. So what questions do you have? What can I help clarify? Is there anything that you would like to ask? Let me start my video back here.
I'm thinking this question might be like answered in the fundraising training, but I guess, how do you guys go about recommending that we find partners? Because I know, like, I do not know that many people in the area, and I also sort of have been just going around to different churches with COVID since so many have been only online. So I don't have like a super strong church community where I would know people to ask. So what would you recommend sort of?
Great question. So I do want to kind of give a disclaimer that we do understand that obviously this pandemic has changed a lot of things about fundraising, especially for seminary, not just missions or any kind of nonprofit work like that. But we do give grace. We have understanding that these are unprecedented times. So I just want to start out with that. But also, like I was saying earlier, if you aren't connected to a church that you feel like is comfortable with giving to you at this time, maybe they don't know you well enough or you don't know them well enough, that's fine. We suggest you partner with the church, but if you aren't able to, we're understanding. You just have to make that $2,000 or $1,000 difference up with the rest of your supporters. And then, yes, we do also go through, okay, who in the world am I going to ask now? I've got this vision. I need to cast it to people to help them get on board with, the work that God is going to be doing in his kingdom through me. And so we will walk through who am I going to ask? Who is it appropriate for me to ask? All of those things we would cover in the training. So yeah, like I was saying, don't, if you're afraid to apply because you think you can't do it because you don't know enough people, don't let that fear stop you because we will help you with that. And also, I would say as well that a lot of students are surprised by how many people actually do want to partner with them. We do get that question a lot that, I just don't really know people, but I think you would be surprised when you start.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Mackenzie. That was a great question. Does anybody else have any questions about requirements, application process? No question is too small. Admissions, can you think of anything that I didn't cover? Any questions that come to your mind?
Just thinking through for the future. So say I'm not quite sure if I'm ready for seminary this fall. There's still a lot up in the air. What does it look like for the future term? What should I be keeping in mind now or doing now? If I'm thinking maybe spring or next fall would be a better time for me to be thinking about seminary and the partnership program.
Another good question. So if you are interested in not this fall, but maybe the spring, you wouldn't have to apply until September 15th. That's our deadline for the spring coming up. We also offer summer matriculation. So if you would like to start then, your application won't be due till January 15th. You can apply to the program and just let us know you're undecided. You don't know when you would like to start, but you are thinking about the program. And in that case, we could give you up to a year to defer your acceptance to the program. So you would have a whole year before you would need to reapply again in that case.
And Beatrice, I'm sorry that my video's off, but a quick question that I have about something you said earlier, the requirements for full-time and part-time study, those correlate to the credits you're taking per fiscal year or per semester? I guess I just want to clarify that.
Really good question. Yes. So we do view full-time and part-time a little bit differently than the registration office does. So we go by fiscal year, not semester. And so a fiscal year is from July 1st of one year all the way to June 30th of the next year. So that would cover a little bit of summer classes, your fall, J-term, spring classes, and then maybe a little bit at the beginning of the next summer. So in that time period, you could only take 12 credits, which is usually about 4 classes. If you took anything over those 12 credits, you would have to be considered full-time and your fundraising goal would go up. But maybe you don't know if you want to be full or part-time. You could apply for full-time and then later on in the process, right before you start, you could switch to part-time if you needed or vice versa. You could also say you're full-time in the partnership program and you're a student, you've been chugging along, but then you have, something comes up, a family member sick, or you just can't handle the class load that you thought you could handle, you could switch while you're in the program to part-time if you need to step down a little bit. You could go to full-time if you started part-time and you're thinking, oh, I could do a lot more than this and my fundraising's going well. I think I could bump up to full-time. That's also an option. So really good question.
Thank you. That's really helpful.
Sure.
Quick question.
Yes.
Okay, so I work 3 days and I work 4 days and I have 3 days off. I have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off. But I would want to be in the full time. I don't know how best that can help.
Gotcha. So like kind of trying to decide before you start maybe whether it would be part-time or full-time.
Yes, please.
Yes. So I would maybe suggest, like I said earlier, you could apply for part-time, you could apply for full-time, and then we can switch you if you think you maybe need to do the other. But because you have a full fiscal year to take up to 12 credits, you could start out in the fall and maybe, you're taking 3 classes and you decide, okay, this is too much. I'm not going to be able to take another 3 classes next semester. We could keep you at part-time and you could just take 1 class in the spring. And then that way you've reached your 12 credits, you're at your part-time goal. So you're not raising extra money. And then once you hit July 1st, you can start again with your next 12 credits.
Okay. My follow-up question is, are all the classes in the campus, or do we have like a web, an online class?
So the partnership program, you can do it if you're at a residential campus, you can do it for fully online classes. You can do a mix of both. So yeah, we offer it for all of our campuses and online.
Oh, okay. So if I'm not resident on campus, I can still come to the campus, right? Because sometimes I would love to mingle,
Oh, gotcha. Yes. So even if you're doing online, I believe that you do have to kind of select a campus that you're based out of. And so in that case, yes, you would be able to attend that campus, I believe, sometimes. Is that correct, Sarah?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Good questions.
I think another question that we hear a lot is, say I am planning to start on a different scholarship, or I start my studies on a different scholarship, but I actually think I can do the partnership program. Is it possible to switch from one scholarship to the partnership program, or even start it as a current student?
That's also a good question. So yes, you can, say you start your first semester, your first full year, and you realize this is a lot more than I thought I could handle. You can apply to the partnership program at any time after you've become a student. Our only requirement is that you have at least 2 years left in your degree program. So yes, new students, returning students, you can all apply for the partnership program. It is actually a really great retainment tool, this program, because like we've mentioned, we get a lot of students second year who realize, I just can't keep affording this like I thought I could. And so the partnership program helps them to be able to stay at seminary. So maybe don't apply now, maybe down the road. If you change your mind, you could apply. I would say that the only scholarship that you can combine with a partnership program is the Pierce Fellowship, which I believe is just at Hamilton and Charlotte. I don't know, is that correct? Do we offer the Pierce at all campuses, or is that just?
I believe we do at Boston as well, but I'll let Lucrecia confirm.
Excuse me, Sarah, what was the question?
Sure. Is the Pierce Scholarship available at Boston as well?
Yes, it is. Yes,
Great.
So I think it's just the three of us.
Okay, so if you're at Hamilton, Boston, or Charlotte, and you're in the Pierce Fellows program, you can combine that with the partnership program, but that is the only scholarship that you can combine with partnership. So that's just kind of a follow-up to, if you want to apply later on, awesome. But if you have any other scholarships, you would have to drop them to join the partnership. Awesome. Okay. Well, if we don't have any other questions, I just wanted to put up let me see, my contact information. Please, please, please feel free to contact me at any time. That's my phone number right there. And that's just kind of the general partnership email, but I do check that regularly. So if you have any questions about the partnership application process, or if, maybe after this you think of a question you forgot to ask, I would be happy to talk with you further. And again, like Sarah said too, it doesn't have to be before April 15th. If you want to apply for the spring semester or later, please also feel free to reach out to me. It's never too early to start. And yeah, I'm just so thankful that you all came today. Thank you for spending some of your lunchtime with us. And we do hope that we get to see you in the fall.